Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of The Pie Show with Jess and Amy. Today, we are talking to the fabulous Tori Reid. We are really excited to have her on the show. And we actually also will be speaking with James again about tribe building and the importance of tribe building. And as James puts it, eliminating scumbags. So thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show. All right, we are with the amazing Tori Reid, and we are going to chat with her today about some tribe building and your network and all that fun stuff, your people. So actually, when I came online, Tori was the first person, influencer, that I followed, and how can you not dig her? She has an amazing group, and she is extremely knowledgeable and intelligent. So that's how I kind of came into her tribe, or she came into mine, I guess, because we vibed. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, like, why do you think building a tribe is important, and maybe what your, I guess, experience with that has been.
I used to not put a lot of stock into it, actually. It wasn't until like the past year and some change that I really started to see things differently. I don't know if my stomach's rumbling. I'm hungry. That I started to feel differently about it. So in the beginning and for a long time, I really wasn't focused on building a following or doing any of that. Probably, I would assume it was kind of a side effect of introversion, because you don't really like the spotlight like that when you're an introvert. And so was not really into it, kind of repelled by the idea of that. And so I really just kind of went like one by one when it came to clients. Like, I just talked to people one-on-one, and I don't even think I had an email list for a long time. It took me a long time to even start to build an email list. But there was a point where I noticed when I started to join a lot of other communities. I think the first community that I joined that I like really, really, really kind of fell in love with was the Rich 20-something community, which I think since I joined it just isn't what it used to be. And then I joined the MEC, and then I joined a paid community, which was Dan Henry's group, because I bought into Faith, was what it was at the time. I think right now it's called Get Clients. And those 3 communities showed me like, this is kind of cool, but I didn't necessarily think that I wanted to lead one until I started thinking about, my transition, because I wanted to, at a certain point, I wanted to transition from just a freelancer who was taking done-for-you projects to actually like teaching and helping people at a wider scale. And that's when I started to think about it. And so I'm like, and I tried it on a just generate leads and then sell the course to them kind of deal. And there was something about it that like wasn't clicking with the marketing and how that worked. And when I looked back at my peers, at Arnie and Dan and other people who were succeeding, they all had these communities. I'm like, what's the difference in that? And I started to study it. And I was just like, oh, it's like a community dynamic, meaning it has like this echo chamber effect, right? Or echo chamber effect, where everybody's just kind of in it together. They're all talking about how awesome the person is, and it like really drives the marketing forward. I think that was like one of my first things that I was kind of fascinated by. And so that, I think, kind of convinced me to make the plunge and start a group. And then there were all of these other hidden benefits behind it that I didn't expect, being that I actually like fell in love with my group members. And so since then, it's just kind of been history. But yeah, building a tribe is like super important for you if you want to build a personal brand. Even if you don't want to build a personal brand, it'll help every brand. But I think for a personal brand, if you want to be the expert, if you want to be the influencer, it's really, really important that your people don't just know you, that they get a chance to bond with one another about the values that you're bringing to the table and about the mission that you're bringing to the table. And that really, it just creates a ton of momentum, like a shit ton of momentum that helps you marketing wise, but it's also like really fulfilling. So did I answer the question?
Yeah. So then that kind of goes into like building your own like personal like support tribe, or like, you know, your not necessarily like collaborators, but people that you can rely and support on, your, you know, your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to building, yes, same exact. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just, so the way that I see it, like, you want to network with the different levels of people. So you want to network with people that you can help, and like you can help them from an expert position, help them get better at whatever skill it is that you're practicing. And then you want to network with peers who are like even to where you are, and your skills complement one another. And then you want to try to network with people who are like well ahead of you, who are able to help you. It took me a long time to really realize the power in that too. I've always been kind of a loner. And so when I started Mark Levine was like the first person I think that I like really connected with on a one-on-one level. And he introduced me to the Gorillas, and I met other people as well in Dan's group. It was Dan's group. And I started to like build these friendships. And before I knew it, I was just like, I have friends online. And this feels weird, but it's also like really cool because they know things that I don't know, and I'm able to help them in ways that I didn't expect. And like, I don't know, it's just like really awesome. So I kind of used to be a bit of a recluse, and this whole like corner of the internet universe just kind of like really brought me out of my shell, honestly.
That's awesome.
I totally get that too, because you can just like turn it off when you're done and then you turn it back on. How do you navigate like weeding, like figuring out like people you don't quite know yet? Like, how do you know, like, are they going to be a good fit for you for any of those three levels, like below you, peers, and above you?
I don't.
It's hard.
So what I do is I just do my own thing. I put myself out there because I'm releasing content. I'm doing my own thing. And people who reach out to me and are persistent, like Matt Staten, one of my best friends that I've made in this space, I was like, I don't know about this guy. And if he sees this, he'll laugh at this. I was like, I don't know about this guy. Like he's super new. I haven't seen him around before. Yada, yada, whatever. Like, we'll see. I was really skeptical. And he just kept reaching out to me like, Tori, I think you're awesome. Tori, I think you're dope. Let's talk. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's do this JV deal, whatever. And then eventually through all of those different talks, I was just like, you know, he's kind of cool. And he like invited me to interview in his group and stuff like that. So I'm really not a pursuer of people. I'm really not, like at the core, I'm not. But I am open to people when they step up to pursue me. But I just kind of wait a second to figure it out. I mean, I think it takes a second to like get to know who someone is, right? Mm-hmm. There are so many people in the space who really only want to get in touch with you because they have their own motives that they want served. And we all have our own like agenda. At the end of the day, we're all trying to do something, you know? But there are certain people who are only worried about their own agenda. And then there are other people who understand the value of making a real connection and then allowing those real connections to organically support the growth of whatever it is that they're doing. And those are the kind of people that I'm looking out for. But I take a second before I decide, you know, what box I want to think of you falling into.
Have you been burned before, or that's just inherent to your nature?
I mean, I've been burned offline plenty. I feel pretty safe online.
Yeah, because Jess made a good point. Like, you can use, like, there's a paper trail. Like, if you really want to dig into someone, like, to find out, like, if they're, like, fake or authentic or whatever.
It's called stalking. Just use the word. You can stalk.
Well, that's true. I wasn't legit not thinking about that. I was like, no, there is a trail, though. You gave me a really good tip one time. I was like, go see the reviews they leave. I was like, that's so true. Because they'll be on it. Like, that's probably one of the best ways to figure out about somebody, is see what reviews they leave or don't leave at all.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do if I really want to, you know, check somebody out, I'll see how they treat others, right? There are a lot of like influencers and just people in the space who like they have this whole, it's a really interesting mentality where they take the tribe mentality to the next level. And so what they do is they market to get people in their tribe, and they're like, I'm going to treat you like gold because you're in my tribe. So I'm going to make you feel like you're in the in crowd. But it's like high school, right? It's like cliques. But we're going to bully these people over here who don't stand for whatever it is we believe in, and we want to take offense to something that they do. And I don't like bullying, period. So like if I see somebody, they can preach like whatever golden, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
They can preach whatever golden bullshit they want to preach. I don't want to disrespect you.
We have had Ashley Sanders on the show, so.
Okay. But they can preach whatever it is that they want to preach. You know, that sounds good to the people who are following them. But if I see them being shitty to others, then I'm just like, it's only a matter of time before you're shitty to me then, bro. Like, all I got to do is rub you the wrong way in an innocent way, and then you'll be shitty. So, like, I'm off it. So that's one way that I really look into people. If I really want to look into you, I'll look at how you treat other people. I'm not going to look at how you treat me. I don't care about that. You're treating me a certain way because you want something, you know?
Right. I feel like, I mean, it does take effort as well as time to, you know, get to know someone and make sure, you know, that they align with you. So just like, you know, hiring or whatever, you know, stalking them and really getting a feel for how they are, like, allows you to open up that level of trust, I think, with them. I think ultimately, like, for me, it's, you know, letting them into one of those three categories and then elevating them to, like, the actual trusting, like, legitimate, full-blown trust portion of that, because the struggle is real sometimes with trusting people.
Yeah, 100%.
It really
can be.
Surround yourself with scumbags or people that are just out to make a buck. You're gonna get some bad advice, because it's all about them. It's how they can turn a profit off of you, and they're going to give you bad advice because it serves them. And I've never surrounded myself with that type of person, in business or in life. You know, there's been a few outliers and a few scumbags that have come through, but I've got good friends. I've got really good mentors, and honestly, the guy that hired me to tail the dryer that out of college, he's one of my great mentors. He's a really just brilliant dude. And honestly, in more ways than just business, he's just a great guy. So Lane Reid is the dude's name. If Lane ever sees this, Lane, I love you.
Thank you so much for watching episode 7 with Tori and James Gaffney. We thought they had awesome thoughts in regards to building a tribe. Stay tuned for episode 8, and we are going to be talking to some of our guests about why they became entrepreneurs. You'll get to hear from Gabe, Tori, and Ashley in regards to their thoughts on why they do what they do. See you later.